Over the past couple of weeks, cannabis penny stock Sundial Growers has absolutely taken Wall Street by storm. In this video, I'm going to be telling you the 3 reasons why I think it's exploding, and then I'm going to be talking about if I think that Sundial Growers is a legitimate company and if it's a long-term hold or just simply a pure swing momentum stock. Sundial has become so popular lately that it has become the 8th highest trading stock on Robinhood, ahead of Amazon, Disney, as well as Microsoft. So why has Sundial exploded? Well, let's talk about the 3 reasons I believe Sundial has popped. For starters, I'm pretty sure investors are very pleased with the fact that the Democrats now have control in Washington. There was a survey that indicated 83% of Democrats are in favor of legalizing cannabis, whereas only 48% of Republicans are in favor of legalizing it. And now with Senator Mitch McConnell no longer at the helm and able to block legislation from going to the floor to be voted on, the possibility of a federal change is greater now than ever. Because legalizing weed at the federal level would allow Sundial Growers as well as other Canadian pot stocks to enter into the very lucrative US market. The second reason why I believe Sundial has been popping off is probably the most common reason, and that's because of Wall Street Bets. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Wall Street Bets, it is a forum on Reddit where retail investors basically talk, discuss, at times find stocks that have extremely high short interest, as we saw with GameStop and AMC. However, Sundial does not have a very high short interest at around 6.5%, but it is, or in this case was, a penny stock, more specifically a cannabis penny stock. And for many years, penny stocks and just lower price stocks have fascinated retail investors since the dawn of time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Last but not least, Sundial's management team has worked very hard to repay debt and improve the company's cash position. The reason why this is important is because a relatively clean balance sheet would come in handy if and when Sundial is able to infiltrate the US market. Before we go any further, if you like this content, if you like me, feel free to give this video a like and maybe even subscribe. I'm not going to twist your arm, don't worry. But if you do want to learn about stocks and market moving news, so now that we've talked about the 3 reasons why Sundial Growers has essentially popped, we need to discuss on whether or not Sundial Growers is a legitimate company and if it's a good long-term hold. Now, when I say legit company, I don't mean like, are they a real company? I mean like, does their business model make sense? To pay down debt and to build the company's cash position, Sundial has been selling stock and been converting debt to equity at an alarming pace. Now, this might sound relatively harmless, but this has the potential to dilute shareholders over time. For example, Sundial Growers ended September 2020 with an approximately 509 million outstanding shares. 4 months later, following multiple rounds of share issuances and debt to equity conversions, Sundial is currently sitting at, drumroll please, 1.56 billion outstanding shares. In 4 months, Sundial's total outstanding shares have increased 209%. That's insanely high, and it doesn't really paint the company in a very nice light because it shows that they pretty much have a complete disregard for shareholders. To add on to that, the company's operating performance has been less than great. The company is trying to transition from a wholesale business model to more of a retail side business model. And while this move does make sense for Sundial, it is going to take time for this transition to pay off. When Sundial's quarter ended back in September 2020, their year-over-year sales were cut in half, with the company reporting an operating loss of $71.4 million Canadian. At the end of the day, if Sundial continues to sell stock in order to raise capital, it's only going to hurt the shareholders long term. I have no exposure to this stock, so hopefully this was a unbiased video. And if this video gets a decent amount of love and traction, I will gladly make a separate video talking about like the top 3 or maybe the top 5 cannabis stocks for the long term. So let me know down in the comments below if that's something that interests you. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.